on your side. You're watching WRBL News 3 Sunday morning.
Good morning. It's Sunday. Time to talk. I'm Chuck Williams, a reporter here at WRBL News 3, and we're joined today by Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor. Sheriff Taylor has been in the news a lot lately, and these segments are pre-taped, so this one's being taped on Tuesday morning. What'd you think of the football game last night?
Well, I mean, you know, it didn't turn out in our favor, but you can't win them all, Chuck.
Russell County is in the great state of Alabama, as we will note, and you were not pulling for the national champion Georgia Bulldogs.
No, I wasn't. I was pulling for my Tide, but, you know, we had a good run. We were in the title game, and you know, we had some injuries, and Georgia played well, and you can't take nothing away from them. For
sure. A lot of happy dogs. I'm sure they'll still be happy on Sunday morning. I want to talk quickly about the Kamari Holland, the murder of the 5-year-old girl who was kidnapped in Columbus, found dead in Russell County. There's a gag order in that case that's been put in place by Circuit Court Judge David Johnson. It limits what you, other law enforcement, what the district attorney's office, all the attorneys involved, and potential witnesses can say. The case is garnering a lot of attention nationally and locally. Is there anything you can say about it this morning with the restrictions?
Well, we're still working with our families and with the court system. There's not a whole lot that I can report on the case right now. So, you know, we're just trying to work our way through it and coming up on some preliminary hearings and procedural processes, but, you know, other than that, that's about all I can say.
And I appreciate that, and I won't dig any further on that, but I mean, I wanted to ask that question before we start. Now let's get to a piece of legislation that's in the Alabama legislature, House Bill 6. It is of particular interest to law enforcement, district attorneys across Georgia. Tell me a little bit about what House Bill 6 is and what it would do.
So currently in the state of Alabama, you have to have a permit to carry concealed. So on your person, under your jacket, on your leg, in your car is concealed. This bill removes that process. It removes anybody looking into who wants to carry something concealed. No background checks, no mental health checks, no anything like that anymore. It's funny to me that every professional law enforcement agency in the state, from the Sheriff's Association to the Chiefs of Police to the District Attorneys Association to the state troopers, everybody in professional law enforcement is against this bill. They say that it's a public safety issue, but our legislatures are, in my opinion, you know, they're not listening to what we're trying to tell them we have to deal with on the street.
I read a quote in doing research for this from Sheriff Cunningham in Montgomery County. He fears this would send Alabama back into the wild, wild west. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree. In 67 counties in the state of Alabama, 47 of them denied 6,000 plus permits in 12 months.
For what reason?
For various reasons, from domestic violence in their past, to mental health issues in their past, to drug abuse in their past, to felonies in their past. These are people that when they came to get a permit, we said, you don't have the background to be able to carry a weapon. 6,000 plus people.
How many of those were in Russell?
I denied 72 or 3 in a 12-month period. The sheriff you're talking about, Derek in Montgomery, denied over 400 in a 12-month period.
Do you know what Lee counties were?
I know Lee County had somewhere either right around me, they may have been a little over on the denials, but similar. You know, the size of the county dictates probably how many you're going to deny, but those people, we know 6,000 want to carry that should not, and these will have the ability to do that day one.
If that law passes and goes into effect, 6,000 people the state of Alabama deemed unfit to carry guns would be allowed to put a gun in their glove box or strap a gun on their person.
Absolutely. And you know, at the end of the day, I just don't think that we should allow people, nobody in the state of Alabama, there's no sheriff, all 67, that are against the Second Amendment. Nobody.
Are you
I am
pro-gun?
absolutely pro-Second Amendment. But when it comes to carrying a weapon concealed and out in public and in your car, I think somebody should be looking at the person's history. Somebody should be determining whether or not you have mental illness, whether or not you have a history of drug abuse or alcohol abuse or fighting in bars or, you know, those types of issues. We already deal with too much gun violence as it is. I sit across from Columbus, Georgia, and Columbus has had an astronomical amount of homicides this year.
70 in 2021.
2021, 70. Montgomery had 72 or 3.
Would you compare this to the state says whether or not you're fit or unfit to drive a vehicle?
Well, I mean,
is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, and everybody wants to say, well, this is a Second Amendment right, the bad guys are going to do it anyway. And my answer to that is, currently, under our system, when the bad guys carry and we stop them, we can put them in jail and seize that weapon. So there is recourse for when the bad guys actually violate the law. Currently, if you do away with that, there's no more of putting somebody in jail when they shouldn't have a gun. So then, you know, where do we go from there? I mean, I don't understand the legislature's thought process as to how this is going to make anybody safer.
I could talk to you for hours about this, but we're kind of getting to the end of this, but I will ask one more question. If citizens share your concerns about this, what should they do?
They should let their legislatures for their area and their county know that they're not for doing away with pistol permits. Somebody needs to be looking into a person's background to make sure that they don't have the things that we've talked about. And they need to contact their state senators, state representatives, and let them know that they don't need to pass this legislation.
Well, I mean, I know you're going to be monitoring it when the session starts in a few weeks, so I know you and your association will be monitoring it closely.
Well, I think that, you know, something I mentioned to you earlier is last year they passed a lifetime permit. You know, they came to us as sheriffs. If y'all work with us on this, we're going away. Well, we did that and we worked with them. And now there's a lifetime permit for anybody in the state of Alabama. But it goes into effect in October of 2022, and they're trying to change it again. What they did last year isn't even in effect yet to see if everybody would be happy with that before we're trying to just do away with permits altogether and let anybody that wants to carry a weapon.
Interesting. I mean, they're talking similar legislation over here. Well, we've reached the end of our Sunday morning conversation. Our guest has been Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor, and we've been talking guns, and it's an important topic in General Assembly. The General Assembly in Georgia and the legislature on the Alabama side are about to go into effect, and you need to monitor what these people do. They change laws. They do things that impact every one of us. Heath, thank you for being with us. And
thanks for having me.
I'm Chuck Williams. I'm a reporter here at WRBL News 3, and I thank you for watching a Sunday Conversation. Come back next week. We'll go at it again.